This is my Peugeot 205, 1993. It's a 1.1 style, basically a GR underneath. I've had the car for about, it's coming up for 3 years. I got it a few days before I turned 17, so it's my first car. I've kept it all this time. At the moment it stays garaged whilst I'm at university, so it doesn't see too much use, but I have, in my time of ownership, I have put on a good 18,000 miles or so on top of it. I got the car now for 39,000 miles and paid 500 quid for it, so it was kept by an old lady before that, so it really has not seen much use at all. It is a fantastic little example. So I just thought I'll start it up. We'll have a quick look inside as well. Nice little, basically. It's got the interior from a Trio, which is quite unusual, but it's a K-reg, so it's they were starting to mix and match a lot of things. You'll notice as well, for the experts among you, that we don't have the yellow bumper inserts as popular on like the H-reg models and definitely on the diesels. So yeah, we've got the interior of a Trio, trims from all generic base models. No complete centre console in there either, because this was a real poverty spec. Has the old no glove box either, no glove box door. The rims that I've put on it, they're from the 1.6 GTI. They're the Pepper Pots. The larger speed lines just didn't look as good, and as a matter of fact, these wheels they were an optional extra on the style range, so it's it doesn't ruin the look too much. If I just pop the old actually we can have a look in the back. Now these seats have just barely been sat on. They're absolutely in mint condition. Little bit of discoloration on the top here from the sun, but that's really it. Got my original plates in there because in case I get stopped by the police for my Frenchies. Got a tyre inflation kit because my front right has got a little bit of a slow puncture, but we're talking like a good month before we have to top it up. I always like to keep it with me. I won't show the boot because there's a dirty old towel in there, and that's not very interesting at all. So let's get in, have a little look. So close the door. What have we got? Well, steering lock apparently. So got the old key in. We've got a proper analog clock in there. That was on the actually no, there we go. So that shows us not too much of a poverty spec model. The mid-range had the clock, but this is the very primitive dash style. You know, the GTIs had far much more information sitting in there. But yeah, the very basic ones had a little Peugeot logo, so that shows it's not the bottom of the range. As I said, yeah, so I've done apparently 17,000 miles. I had 39,000 when I bought the car. Nice little gear stick, absolutely long as anything. You know, I drive much more modern cars my daily, and this is that's a long gear stick. That's quite impressive. That. Yeah, got a sunroof, Britax sunroof. That opens up all the way. There we go, get that to focus. You can properly remove it as well, but I just think that's a bit excessive, and I'm a bit scared to do so in case I can't get it back in again. This is the original radio as well, proper Clarion. This is what would have come in the car when it was new. It does normally have a radio code fit to that, and I've got the little card with it as well. We just got radio too.
Dissociate myself from that particular.
The original speakers as well.
Okay, since it makes me nervous. Right. Okay.
Absolutely unmolested. You cannot search for a station for the life of you on that. So once you find one, you stick with it. The only thing I've actually done on the interior is I've added a cigarette lighter, not for the purposes of smoking, but simply because on long journeys I want to be able to charge stuff. So I have to plug my phone charger in there. I did also buy on the GTIs, and I believe probably the XSs, and also the other higher range models. You would have had a digital clock in there, and I do have the digital clock to fit. However, you can get that out, but the clock has to come in from behind all of this fascia, and I do not want to risk taking it off because this is proper brittle little plastic, so I don't really want to risk cracking anything there. So I've opted not to fit that. Right, so I'll give it a start up. It has been running for a little bit, so I should start absolutely perfectly. Well, the only other thing I've got to mention is down here we've got an immobiliser which was fitted from the dealer, so you know that I'll just leave that in there at all times because I'll lose that, and if I lose that, I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, we'll give it a start up. Here we go. The clock making such a noise. There we go. Bit of a no rev counter, of course. Let's go up. I'll pop the bonnet so we can have a look under there. Have a listen. That door closed. Little spouty exhaust, proper raspy. Had that originally, I had that changed about a year ago because it came up on the MOT, so I thought I'd get a new back box on that. Does sound quite nice. Have a look under here. No little stick pop out. A bit of metal. That is the 1.1 litre petrol engine. Absolutely unmolested. I'll turn on the headlights because I've fitted some yellow halogens for the proper French look to complement the plates. Let's have a look. I just think that looks brilliant. If we focus that down, you can really see how yellow they look. Really smart. Lights on the back look great as well. Always think it looks best from the back, this car, I've got to be honest. Looks fantastic. So yeah, that is my 1993 Peugeot 205. I hope that's been a nice little tour for you enthusiasts. So I'm just going to take the car around to the front of the house to give it a little polish. I want to polish up the silver trim on it and give it a little look over before I put it back for hibernation. So I thought you could join me on that very short drive. So we've got a really low biting point. I'm always worried about revving it too much. And no power steering, of course. So that is a turn and a half. Go for a gear change. There we go. Brakes on this really need a little bit of work. There we go. I'm used to my daily now, and when I first got in it, coming out of this, the brakes were so sharp, so I'm used to having to press the pedal nearly all the way down to do a bit of a big hit. There we go. I'm going to change down before the corner so I can don't have to miss anything. Go. God, it's hard with that no power steering. So yeah, little short trip, little bonus clip at the end of the video. Oh, there we go.